Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel. All right, good evening. Today is December 2nd. So we are in the grand finale of 2020. I hope that everybody started off their month on a good note. And you know what? I know I joke and be like, oh, it's the end of, but like, it's really been sorry for the noise. It's really been like I'm gonna say it's been a great year because I feel like I've accomplished a lot of things this year despite what's going on, and I learned a lot about myself, about how I interact with people, and just in general, like how definitely this year opened my eyes to like, I feel like before I already knew the importance of like finances and like making sure you're good, but now I'm really like I'm really like, it opened my eyes to the importance of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like just making sure that I'm always good as an adult to be able to care for myself. And that I have a plan, a backup plan, or able to create a plan, or have like that stash of money, and just, it's not even just money, but just a stash of like you need to have your emergency set up, So, I definitely appreciate that for 2020, just opening my eyes to this. Moving forward, that's always going to be the top thing, like making sure I'm good in a different way, not living paycheck to paycheck, or living like, just thinking that things that you have planned are going to actually come through. Like just realizing that things can change and you have to like adjust, I feel like I've been saying that, like we got to adjust. So anyway, I'm excited to see, how this year is going to end, and praying that it's on a good note and that we go into 2021 and like I'm ready to like embrace new blessings and new lessons and just new things. I feel like it's going to be some more good things coming my way. So I'm definitely manifesting that. And so I usually don't do like more than one episode in a week, but I know that the last episode I kind of touched on dating, and I'm going to do my interview still. It's tough, man. It's tough trying to like coordinate with people to get things going like that, but it's definitely coming into the works. But I felt like the last episode, I like listened back to it and I was like, I feel like I kind of did like a surface base of what's going on with my life right now with dating, and I didn't really dive in as much as I could have. Partly because it's still going on, so I want to like let things be, see what happens with that, because at the end of the day it's a good situation for me in different ways, and so I feel like I can kind of give like I feel like in the first episode, I don't really remember if I talked about like my dating life completely. But I think I touched on it, but I didn't really dive in, right? And so I feel like I can give like a little preview of, maybe, and that's why I talked the way I did the last episode, like how I'm so surface-based. First of all, because I'm a Virgo, so we don't really like open up like that. Like we open up, but you have to be like worth it, like I can't just give you my whole life, I can't give you my whole book, you got to earn those pages, so but at the same time, like as I've gotten older, I've become more open and like more free. A lot of life lessons, a lot of lessons in love that have just made me who I am now, where I am not necessarily, I mean, sometimes I'm still, my friends know, like I still question things and like overanalyze a little bit, but then they reel me in. They're like, girl, get together, like just live your life, So that's what I'm doing now. And like, you can, if you talk to my friends or my sister or whatever, because my sister or my sisters, she is opposite of me. She's Sagittarius, and she's just like free-spirited, wild thing, and she's just like, go for it, But me, I'm always like, like my sister, she's the type of, let me describe, like, she's the type of person, you get an invitation, she's like, oh, word, what's the address, what's the time, blah, 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 I'm there. Me, I get an invitation, I'm like, I'm the type of person, like, who's gonna be there? Like, where's it at again? And what's the occasion? Like, I'm asking 21 questions, And so, but this year, I feel like, and within these past year or two, I've become less like that, of like asking questions and stuff, or like just, I'm more willing to just be like, you know what, whatever, just go for it. Especially with 2020, I feel that now, moving forward, I'm not going to be hesitant to like go for something and like question anything. I just want to go, because especially being in the house this long like that, and not really being able to travel and stuff, now I'm just like, oh, I don't even care. I don't care where it is, when it is, I'll make it happen. I'm there, So I appreciate 2020 for that. Because it's definitely changed my perspective on like things, and like thinking that you have the time, but you really don't, So just going for things, and living in the moment, I would say, more so, definitely pushing me to live in the moment. So to get into what I want to talk about. So I know last episode, like I said, I talked a little bit about the dating, and so I wouldn't get it, like, when it comes to dating, like, I would say, like, when I was back and living in Atlanta, because I feel like before, like, when I was in high school and college, that don't really count to me, because like those, like, especially high school, I didn't really date like that. I couldn't really date like that. And when I did, it was just like some puppy love type of stuff, because I was the type of person where I was like, I was so focused, and I'm not going to say I was focused like I was a straight A student, because I definitely was not a straight A student at all. But I was the type of person where I was like, when I was 15 is when I really started to like get out there and like go out, have fun with my friends and stuff. So I was just focused on having fun with my friends, doing sports, and like just meeting guys. Yeah, but I was never in a like relationship or anything like that. And then when I went to college, my freshman year, I did have a boyfriend for like 2 weeks or so, or like a month. For a month, because I'll never forget, because he used to give me a hard time about it because I dumped him. And at the same time, it was I was being savage, because I was just like, I came down there, I went to school in North Carolina, and like when we had our orientation, I met him, and you know how like sometimes guys are like try to like, I don't know, I don't want to say claim you, but they try to like get their dibs on you, So like he tried to do that. And so like when we came back to start school and stuff, like we ran into each other, and like, he was just like on me, and it was like, all right, cool. I didn't mind the attention. And, like we genuinely got along with each other. We joked around with each other. We vibed really well, but it was just like after, and like, it was close to my birthday when we went there. So he ended up giving me like he was a really nice guy. I'm not going to sit there and say anything back, because like at the end of the day, it didn't work. But he was really nice. He made me something for my birthday, blah, blah, blah. Like he was being a good boyfriend to an extent. But at the same time, it was like, when I like started meeting other people, started like meeting more guys and like creating a roster, and I was like, all right, I can't do both. I'm not gonna play you. So I was like, let me just break up with you, right? So, and then he, called me a heartbreaker, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that didn't work out. But then I ended up dating more people. I was in another relationship after, and that was with someone who he was a little bit older than me. And so that relationship was like for 2 years. First year was good. Second year, not so good, because I felt like he was slacking. And I was like, 19 at the time. So I was still like, oh, like, I really thought I thought I was in love, but I think I thought I was in love because that person was telling me that they loved me more so than like me actually saying like, no, Chanel, like, you really are in love with this person. I think I was more so like young, naive, just like, oh yeah, like, I'm in love. But I was like, there were certain things where I was just like, if I'm in love, why is this person not doing these things? Like, I'll never forget, he didn't get me anything for Valentine's Day. I was heated. Like, I was like, yo, are you kidding me right now? And I remember I got him something. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was something. You best believe I took that back to the store, got my money back. I'm like, I don't play them type of games. You want to be like that? Then you ain't getting nothing from me either. And so after that, I remember I was like, yo, this ain't it. I was like, this ain't it. Like, this is not what I want. And I remember there was this other guy at my school who was a sweetheart, and like, he definitely liked me. And like, I was talking to him, but I was like, you know what? Like, I'm still in a relationship, And so it didn't bloom into anything, but that definitely could have been something, But anyway, my point is, like, at that time, 19 years old, that relationship ended up ending. But at the time I was like, quote unquote, heartbroken, but then I really wasn't, because I really had to like snap out of it. Like, what were you, like, honestly, what were you missing out on? Like, what were you, you're not really, it was time to end that chapter. And so I learned from that, like, it was time for me to, like, when you feel like things are not going how you want, or like, not even that, but when you feel unappreciated, like, it's time to bounce. And that's something that I learned at that time. Just like, don't stay in something just because it's a relationship, like, you can find somebody else. And so fine, that was like 19, 20. I came back to Boston to finish school, and I was single. Yeah, I was single for a long time. I was single because I graduated when I was 21 from college. And then I still stayed single after that until I moved to Atlanta when I was like 24? Or maybe I was 23 or 24, I think. I don't know, one of those. I was about to turn, I know it was my birthday was coming up. And so I moved there. So I moved there, and I remember when I moved there, people were like, what? Like, you're gonna move? Like, because I feel like people up north or in Boston, especially in my family, they never moved. Like, they just stayed in the same state. Like, and so it was like, you're not moving, you're just gonna up and move, and you don't know anyone there. The only person I knew there was my brother, because he was in school there. And I was like, yeah, why not? If I don't like it, I'll come back, right? So, and I'm so glad that I did, because that definitely is an experience that I think everyone should have, like, to live somewhere else, right? So anyway, I moved there, and again, it's like a whole new city, whole new people. I met so many cool people, and that's when I started to really come into myself, or really begin the journey of becoming the woman that I am today, or who, and I still have more ways to go, but I just really started to really become Chanel there. Like, I was, dressing differently, not like provocative or nothing like that. It was just, I was really coming into my own, where I was really like dressing how I want to dress. And like, I started to get like, I remember I got a tattoo there. And I got my nose pierced. I was just like, I was doing things on my own, and it felt so free, because like, I was pretty much responsible for finding everything on my own there. Like, I had to find an eyebrow lady. I had to find a place to get my hair done. I had a place to get a girl to do my braids. Like, a place to get mani-pedi, like just certain things that you are used to doing in the city that you live in, where it's like, now it's like, all right, I really gotta, I gotta be on point, so I had to find these things. And like, really, like I said, it just made me feel like I was coming into my own, because I was making my own decisions about how I wanted to look, where I wanted to be, the people I wanted to hang out with. And so I met so many great people and made so many good connections there, people that I still couldn't talk to now, that still talk to me. So with that being said, so anyway, I was there having fun, and I met this guy, and so I was working somewhere, and I ended up dating this guy that I worked with, and he was a little younger than me. And it was more so like, that was the first time I really had like I don't know if I want to say a fling, but I would say that was like my first guy that like, it was just like, I was really just like, we were into each other, but it wasn't like, we weren't solidifying anything. And then after a while, I was like, all right, you know what? I need more, So I knew he wasn't going to do that. So I ended up just going on, like, still, we used to talk, but it was just like, slowly I kind of, and I think low-key, now that I think about it, I don't know if I ghosted him, but I definitely like did the slow fade on him. Like, I was just like not really messing with him like that. And I didn't really open my mouth and explain to him what was going on. And now I think about it, that's not good. That's not cool. But so yeah, I didn't really explain. I just kind of, if anything, I just ended up meeting somebody else, and I really connected with that person. And I think I connected with that person because like I could be free with them. And now I can think about it, like it wasn't really great, because I basically, I'm not gonna say I was running it, but I was just like, he was someone who was just going along with everything that I was saying. And like, I think that was cool to me at the time, because I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he likes everything that I like, and like, I don't have no issues, and like, he's doing everything that I want him to do, being romantic, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, this is great. We have like a lot of the same, ideas and like things that we want for ourselves and stuff. So, I really allowed myself to really let go. And like, when I say let go, like I really, really, like, that was the first time that I really was open with somebody, like completely. And like, I was really I was really in love, like for real. Like I don't think I had ever been in love like that before. So it was just like, I don't know. I was swimming on cloud nine for real. Like I was so happy, and like we just had fun together. And again, it was just like, there were no hiccups, because this person was literally going along with everything I said. Like anything I told him, he was going to do it, So it was just like, all right, this is dope, So when things hit the fan, they really hit the fan. And it was just like, I don't think I had ever been hurt like that in my life. Like, I mean, like, now I can like talk about it and laugh and like being like, all right, dang, it was a lesson, But like, when you talk about someone who was hurt, like I was hurt. Like, you talk to my brother or my mom. Like, I remember there was a point where my mom like pulled me to the side, and she was like, you gotta move on, and like, you gotta snap out of this, because it's messing up who you are as a person, like as a woman. Like, he cheated on me. And so I was just like, I couldn't comprehend that you would do that, like, because it was just like, we were having so much fun, and we were so great, and everything was going so well. So it was just like a slap in the face. And then it was just like, even though like I was moving on, I really wasn't moving on. Like I was, it was bad. It was toxic. It was a toxic breakup. Like, I'm talking like, he had blocked me on like social media. He had like, just like, it was just like, it was bad. Like, we hadn't talked, and then he would talk, and then it was just like a lot of lies and games, and just, I was just like, to the point where I was just like, all right, I gotta stop interacting with this person. And so that was the first time I had ever, because I remember my friends used to be like, block him, block him, block him. My aunt was like, block him. Everybody was like, block him. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. What if he wants to reach out to me? You know, like, I couldn't let it go, but I could let it go, if that makes any sense. Like, I was just always having that little bit of like, okay, he's going to apologize. He's going to fix it, you know? And I remember I did finally block him on everything. And, to the point where this person was like following me on LinkedIn. That's the only way he could get to me, was from LinkedIn. And even then I was all right, block. Like, I just blocked him on that too. And it took a long time. It took a couple of years of me doing that. And one year he messaged me out of the blue, like an apology and stuff. And by then I had already pretty much healed myself, or so I thought. And I didn't even respond. But that relationship taught me about that I could be in love, you know, and then it is possible, because that was the first time I ever really was in love. And it also taught me about like self-love and like the importance of loving yourself enough to know when to walk away and like not engage in stupidity with anybody. And like, you know, there's always somebody else better, you know? And so, or not even somebody else better, but it's just what one person, you know, what one won't do, you know, somebody else will do for you or more. And so after that relationship, that's when I got the tattoo. I got the tattoo on my back. It's palms, one of those palms on my back, right? And so, sorry. I don't know why I'm going blank on it. It's like, God is within her, she will not fall. Sorry. Yes. So I did, that relationship ended, and, I really like started to heal for myself. And it kind of changed my outlook on love. Because I felt like for a long time, this person took from me. Like, I felt they took like my dreams and stuff, because maybe not my dreams, but like when you sit there and when you have like intimate conversations with someone and you like telling them, this is what my goals are in life, and this is the type of life I want for myself, and this person's like agreeing on it, and then like they basically turn around and do it with the next person. It was like, I think that was the biggest slap in my face, because I was like, oh, word? Like, that's how you move? Like, you know, like, now I can be like, now, and it took a long time for me now to look at it like, oh, now I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, thank God you did not let me be in a situation with this person that I thought I really wanted, because I could do so much better, you know? But at the time, I was heated. And that's the reason why I said my mom pulled me to the side, because I became an angry person. Like, everything pissed me off, and like I couldn't get happy. Like, I was okay, but I was not like the same like naive, like fun loving woman that I had been before. I was hurt, and I was not willing to admit that I was hurt. So I was just walking around like pissed. And like I said, my mom pulled me aside. She's like, you gotta like, you're not being yourself. And I remember her telling me that, and I was just getting mad, because I'm like, what do you mean I'm not being myself? You know, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I was basically wallowing in my sorrows, instead of just like taking the lesson and moving on. And so after that conversation, like I said, that's when I learned to let go, and like, things happen for a reason. And at the time, I couldn't see what the reason was, but then I ended up moving back home. And when I moved back home, so many good things started happening for me that I know would have never happened if I stayed in Atlanta with that person. So I learned to be able to say thank you to that person for doing that, because it opened up so many doors for me, not only just in love in the future, but like just for in general for my life. So I ended up going to nursing school. Like I got to nursing school. I was killing it. I had what, three jobs. I was just making my money. I was making moves, like, you know, so I was focused on my money at that time when I moved back. And so I focused on my money. I was in school, in nursing school, and just really like getting used to being back up here. I didn't really have a lot of friends up here because I had been down south for so long. So I was able to reconnect with some friends and just really start to like embrace being here in Boston. And I ended up doing nursing school, but it didn't work out. It wasn't really what I thought it would be. It wasn't really a passion for me like I thought it would be. So that ended, and I ended up switching to like what I'm doing now. Well, I worked in the medical field. I still stayed in the medical field, but I ended up getting a job where I was working like in an office as like an assistant manager. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I can do management. Like, you know, that's when I decided to go back to school for my master's in healthcare administration, what I'm doing right now. And so that's why I was working with that job. And then I ended up leaving there in just enough time right before COVID, low key. And that's when I started the job that I'm at now, which I love to do, working with kids in the school systems and for the city of Boston. So, but anyway, to get back to the love part. So let me see, I'm trying to think of a timeline. So when I came back, it was like 2016. So 2016 to 2017, I was single. And then 2018. So when I was in nursing school, I really was just hanging out with my nursing people. And like once in a while I would hang out with my friends, but I really couldn't because of the way the schedule was. So once I stopped doing the nursing school, my schedule opened up way more. Because I remember my friend used to invite me to stuff all the time. And I used to be like, dang, I got to work, or I got class. And like I was working overnight. So I was like working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I really was so drained and I couldn't go anywhere. And I remember this one event, it was like St. Patrick's crawl or something like that. It was a black bar crawl that they do. And my friend invited me to it. I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to go. Like, I really want to try to go to something. And I was tired because I worked, I think, the night before, or I think I worked one of those nights before. But I was like, no, you already paid for it, right? So go. So I went. I remember that morning she hit me up. She was like, you still going? I was like, oh, I was like, let me go, right? Because I was like, I already told her I'm going to go, right? Because I used to be that person, be like, I'm kind of tired. And I remember it was cold outside, and I was like, ooh, I don't do cold weather, honey. But I was like, you know what? I remember my mom was like, just go. She was like, you might end up meeting some really great people, you know? So I went, and I ended up having a ball. I ended up meeting so many great people. Got a couple numbers, you know what I'm saying? So I was feeling, you know, I was all right, fine. I could work with this. And ended up meeting somebody, and we exchanged numbers. We ended up hanging out. Well, not hanging out, let me say that. We went on dates and stuff. And he was really cool, you know, like we had connected that whole day. We had been talking to each other and like getting to know each other at the event. And then we ended up still staying, like exchanging numbers and like going on dates and really getting to know each other. And it was a really good time. Like it was a situation where I felt like, I'm not gonna say I was in control, but I definitely felt like, all right, this is going how I want it to go. You know, like this person was pretty much not similar to what I was used to, but in a sense now I can see that, yeah, he was similar to what I was used to as far as like personality and like just the connection itself. And when I say that, it was like the people that I've always had been dating have been predictable in the sense of like, I know this person's going to call me at this time, or they're going to always hit me up in the morning, and they're always going to call me before they go to bed. And like, we're always going to hang out these days of the week. And like, it was always, and now I can think of it. Now I can think about it. Back then, I didn't think about it as being like something to think about, because it was just like, all right, that's just always what it's always been, you know? So anyway, the person, like, we dated for a long time. We met each other's families and like went on trips and stuff, and it was really cool. Like, it was really good. It was a good connection. And then, you know, some things happened where it was like like everything was great, you know, up until like the first 6 months, I say. And then after that, things were still good, but they weren't. It was like a shift. And I would say it was a shift because I think partially it's because, like, that's when you start, you know, it was after the honeymoon phase, and some things had started happening in that person's life that were out of their control, I think. And like, it really started to show a different side of them. And I am the type of person, like, when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm loyal, and like, I'm gonna be supportive and like try to help you out if you're in a bind, you know, maybe not financially, but I'm trying to help you like figure out some other stuff. Like, all right, this is the problem that you're in, like, we gonna figure it out, kind of thing. And that relationship taught me, like, that relationship taught me that I never want to be treated like that again, because I felt so, like, to the point where at that point it was like my brother pulling me to the side, like, yo, you're not the same type of woman that you were when you were with the other dude from Atlanta. Like, you're just not as happy, or like, you're not as fun as you used to be, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's just because of it. Like, I was making excuses. And I think it was just like at that time, and I appreciate that relationship and that person, because they taught me that I need to, like, make sure that I stick to the self-care, or not self-care, but making sure I'm aligning myself with people who can love me how I need to be loved, you know? Because this person, I don't doubt that they loved me and that we did love each other, but it was just like we couldn't love each other the way we needed to be loved. Because I realized at that time that my love language was like words of affirmation and physical touch and quality time. I need somebody who's like loving on me, you know, like I like, because if I'm in love with you and like I'm with you like that, like I'm not like all up on you like that, but I am gonna be on you like that. Like, I'm gonna be wanting to hold your hand and like, you know, just hug on you and just cuddle with you and stuff like that, and like be affectionate. And I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, you look cute, you know what I'm saying? Like, give you compliments, and like I expect the compliments back, you know, like I expect you to be like happy when you see me and like embracing me and stuff like that. And it was like that person, that connection, it wasn't happening, and it was messing with me, because it was just like, I don't understand how you can say that you love me and stuff like that, but you can't even open up and do this with me after this amount of time. Like, it was going on a year, and this person wasn't comfortable opening up like that. And it was just like, it was becoming, not, I would say painful, but it was definitely messing with me, because I was like, I'm not happy. Like, I don't want to feel like I can't hug my person and like hug on my boyfriend, or like cuddle up on you. Like, if I'm cuddling on you, like jumping, like I'm doing something to you. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know, like what's like, you know, like, so it was just like, all right, at a point I was just like, it was becoming more and more like of a problem for me. And again, I can think back and like, yo, you should have left at a certain point, you know, because it was to the point where I was like having these conversations with friends like all the time, like, yo, this is what happened, like, what is going on? And it was to the point where my friend was like, yo, I think you need to dead that, like, because it's not for you. It's just not for you. And so that relationship ended. Again, it was a bad, not horrible ending, but it was still bad for me, because the way that person acted afterward was like, I'm not gonna say a shock and a slap to the face, but it was just like, huh? Like, why are you acting like that? It was just like being rude to me when we would see each other, basically acting like he didn't want to speak to me. So it was just like, okay, cool. Like, all right, so I ended up not talking to that person for a long time until they hit me up one time to apologize for their behavior. But by then I was just like, all right, well, I had already forgiven you just for my own self, because I had started doing therapy, and that's when she told me, like, I have to forgive him to move on. So I was able to do that. So by the time he apologized, it was like, all right, cool. Like, the apology was good because I definitely still needed it to be able to hear. And I'm not gonna say need it, but it was good to have. But it wasn't like, I had been able to do that before, where I had to move on from someone who took years to apologize for their behavior. So it was cool to have the behavior, and it was like a weight lifted off my chest, And so that was in 2019. So, and that apology didn't come until 2020, when I was living in my place where I'm at now. And it was like around the time when a lot of new things, like I had a lot of things I had manifested and worked so hard for in 2019, because 2019, when we broke up, I stayed single and I just focused on myself. And that's when I was talking about, like, my first episode, how I said, like, I was working to get my place and, like, get my job, and I was, like, on a grind. Like, I was focused on that. Like, I had maybe went on a date or two, but that was like, I deaded that because I was like, no, I can't give anybody any attention, because I'm the type of person, like, and I know a lot of guys are like that, but if my money's not right, I can't even entertain somebody, because not because I'm going to buy something for you, but I just feel like if my money's not right and my job is not right, I don't feel, not to say confident, but I'm not as great. I don't feel as great about myself to even allow someone into my life, if that makes any sense. Because when I'm sharing with you, I want to be at my best. And for me to be at my best, I have to be proud of where I am. And so I had to really step back and, like, I was pretty much not ghosting people, but I was so focused on getting my money. Like, I was back to my money hungry person, like, just focused on my job and getting my life together the way I wanted it to be, so I could relax. And so I did that, and that's when it was like 2020. I accomplished all those things, and that person apologized to me, so I really was able to, like, breathe, move on, And so then I ended up, I think I already talked about this when I connected. I ended up meeting this guy from an app right before COVID hit. So we had, like, I had a little COVID boo, and so we connected really well to an extent. But then, like, that connection it wasn't bad, but it was like the way that person chose to deal with things left I'm not gonna say a bad taste in my mouth, but it was just like, how, like, you see someone do something, you're like, oh, that's who you are, like, kind of, oh, that's how you do stuff, like, there's no hard feelings, but I could never go backward, where we can be cool to an extent, and the cool in the sense of, like, if I see you, I'm not gonna be rude to you, and so now I'm where I'm at, where I'm just talking to this other person that this guy that I've been talking to since June. We met in June. So this guy is so different than anyone that I've ever talked to, because he's so opposite of me. He's so spontaneous and so outgoing, and I mean, I'm fun. He's fun too. And he's just like, he was like a breath of fresh air for me when I met him, because it was right after the situation where I was just like, huh? Like, why would you, the other guy that I was talking to during like quarantine, the way that ended, it was just like, come on, man. Like, like, that's what it was. And it was just like, this guy was like a breath of fresh air that I'm talking about right now. He was so, like, communicative and just, like, fun and spontaneous. Like, I remember we went on a trip this summer, like, randomly. He just asked me to go with him. So it was just like, it was fun. Like, the best way I can describe him is he's always fun, and we just have a good time together. And I can never predict what he's gonna do, and sometimes that still can like get to me. But like I talked to my friend and she's like, that's what you need somebody who is opposite and who's gonna like not necessarily keep you on your toes, but keep you open, because being with the people that you've been in the past, it allowed you to be in your comfort zone, which was just like, oh, you tell them what you want and they're gonna do it, you know what I mean? And like there's no questions, and like if they question it, then you just pretty much reel them back in. But this person, not saying that they don't do what you want, but they move to the beat of their own drum, which forces you to do the same. And that's what I can say where I'm at now, is like, that's what I love about it, is because it does force me to like be my own person and like still focus on me. I don't get wrapped up in these people or the person. We're in communication and stuff, but it's not all about just the relationship. It's about like still doing your thing. And that's why I'm doing these, the episodes and stuff like that. And I can still keep working on other things I've been trying to do for myself. So yeah, I feel like overall, I've learned a lot of lessons, and a lot of the lessons, one of the main lessons that I feel was like some key lessons for me when it comes to love is like, first and foremost, always love yourself and continue to learn to love yourself, because you can't, like when you're 20, you can love yourself, but you're going to be a different person when you're 25, 27. You know what I mean? Like certain situations will change you, and you still have to learn to love yourself, the new you, keep loving the new you, keep loving on that person. Don't allow yourself to become hard. And don't hold on to like, to bad situations. Like things happen, right? And sometimes people just don't even know what they're doing to you, but you have to learn to be like, not take it personal and carry it on with you, like the episode, I think, didn't I talk about that? And pack light, just pack light. Like that's the main thing. Pack light, learn to let go, love yourself first, and don't allow yourself to stay in situations where you're not happy. Don't allow someone to tear you down, just love on you. And like I said, like what one won't do, another will do. Okay. So don't ever stay and try to beg somebody to do something. Like if they're not loving you how you want to be loved, and they know how you're supposed to be loved, it's like, that's just the selfishness of them choosing not to do so, So right now, like, another lesson I would say is just like, be open, learn to be open. And, a quote I feel like is coming to my head, and I might have butchered it, but I feel like this from Maya Angelou or somebody, where they're like, even, something about love again, like even try again or something like, oh gosh, I don't know. It's basically in that type of mindset, like even no matter how many times you've been hurt, you can always try that one more time, right? Because don't blame new people for old situations or like old mistakes or old hurt, because they didn't do anything, right? Just be aware of red flags, and like be aware of things, and be vocal about what you want. As of recently, I was vocal with this person about what I want and like what I'm willing to, like where I am, I feel like that's important to have those conversations about how you feel, and like being okay with telling someone how you feel, and what you're expecting of them. And it's a good way to like clear out, like you can either get with it or get left. And that person is either going to step it up or step aside. So that's another thing too. Like just make sure you're always being vocal in love and like in relationships, and have fun with it, and allow someone to love you. Like that's another thing I learned. Like you gotta, no matter how many times, like I feel like sometimes when we've gotten our heart broken, like that's the first thing we say is like, look, because I know that's for me. I'm like, look, I done had my heart broken, so I don't have time for no games, and I don't have no time for like you coming at them hard, and it's just like, even if that happened, like that's not for them to deal with. Like that's for you to deal with, and it sucked, it happened, but it happens to everybody. So you just take it, you know, and you're a stronger person now because of it. You know, you got your scars on you and you keep moving, right? So I would say just learn to be free again and like love again and allow, because love is everything. Love is everything. Like, we're made out of love, you know. You need love to be made. Your love is literally how everything on this earth continues on. So embrace the love, and it's not just, doesn't have to be just a romantic love. It's family love, it's friendship love, it's self-love, it's love from the dog, whatever, you know. It's love is love. It's just like love literally will help you continue on and breathing, you know, like you need love to breathe. So just keep it, just, you know, no matter how many times you get hurt, try again. Just make sure you're making good decisions. I'm not sitting there saying get hurt by the same people over and over again or make the same decisions. That don't make no sense. But I'm just saying, like, learn from your mistakes and move on and like just make better choices. And again, just allow yourself to love. Because I've seen people who have gotten hurt so many times, they don't even let themselves be in love anymore. And it's not good. That takes away from your life, you know, like that can age you and that can change you. And you don't want to be a bitter person. You want to learn to love and love again. I think that's the quote I'm looking for. It's probably not, but it just came to my head. But anyway, I hope that this was a better dive in to my love life for listeners, and that you got a better understanding of who I am as a lover today. Because like I said, I'm a Virgo, and I love, and when we love hard, you know. And I'm not the type of person that, like, if you're gonna be with me, you better have your stuff together. Like, if I'm working hard to get my goals, you better be doing the same thing. Don't slow me down. Don't slow me down now. You got to keep up, you know. We got to be on the same page, you know. We got to be motivating, get this money, get our goals together, and you know, we dominating this world. We're not sitting around doing nothing, you know. And you got to be open with me. I'm a spiritual woman, so you need to be vulnerable, you know. You need to be loving. You need to be just, you know, we got to meditate together. We got to talk about serious stuff. We got to talk about anything. We talk about aliens and the stars and how the world came about and, like, you know, the universe. And you're going to be, you know, change your life, you know. Change your life. Put you on, you know what I'm saying? So, no, let me stop. But seriously though, I am like that now. Like, you have to be spiritually aligned with me. And like, you got to be willing to dive in. You know, that's something that I tell the people, you know, or told this person, like, you got to be ready to dive in, you know. You got to be vulnerable. You got to be willing. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough times. It's going to be good times. But no matter what, I got your back as long as you got my back. You know, when I start seeing you slip, then we're going to have a problem, you know? So that's where I'm at. You know, we spiritually growing, and we're learning each other, and learning on the process of learning each other. You learn about yourself too. You know, it's like a mirror of certain things. Like, you pay attention to certain things that can spark you to be like, okay, maybe this is something that's not healed in me yet, or something that I need to work on too, you know? So I appreciate the connection. I appreciate every connection. I appreciate every relationship that I've ever been in, and every person that I've ever dated, because I know that they learned something from being with me, and vice versa. And I know it because I know, and because they've told me, you know. They always come back. They always coming back and saying, oh, you know, I should have tried harder, you know, or I should have really allowed myself to fall in love, you know, and I should have really appreciated what I had. Yeah, well, 'tis life, you know, because I'm telling you, like, I put that on my Instagram. Once, I'm the type of person, I'm great when we together, but once we done, baby, you're not going to get the same Nelly. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be mean, but you definitely not about to get the same person. I'm on that, oh, for real, that's what's up. Anyway, you know, have a great life. I'm good to say that. Have a great life. I hope all is well. I don't wish bad on anybody, but you're not got to get the same me. When that cord is cut, I do not care. And I'm going to say that again. I do not care. Like, whatever you got going on with you and your mama and whoever else, I don't wish bad, but what that guy say? It's above me now. That's how I am. It's above me now. And no, I ain't got nothing for you, bro. But I hope this was insightful for you guys, and so that's where I'm at. And we're still gonna do the other episode of talking about relationship stuff. But where I'm at, I'm great. I really took the time to really think about it today. Like, I really am learning a lot from this person that I'm with, and I'm loving what I'm getting out of it. And I'm learning. This person is teaching me to be free, and like, not teach me to be free, but be patient and like go with the flow and really be open to the possibilities. And that's really what it is. So this is about to cut off. So meditate, manifest, invest in you. This is Black Hippie Lounge. I'm your host, Chanel. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.